Hi guys, it's Leonard from Len and Art of Motorcycle Maintenance here. I hope you are well. So we fitted the Scottoiler E system to the Kawasaki Versys KLZ 1000C. This one's a 2019 model. And I just wanted to give you a quick walk round about where I decided to put the Scottoiler parts and such like. So I've removed the seat just for the purposes of this video so you can see some of the parts. The controller, which you can access from time to time to adjust flow rate and such like. Scottoiler supply a little bracket, so I've used one of the original fern fasteners here. I've bent the bracket to suit, and fortunately, even although this bike has the Kawasaki GT kit handguards, there's still enough clearance between the controller and the handguard, which is good. I managed to bolt that on with the bracket, and Scottoiler also supply some of these little cable clips which I have stuck to the inside of the trim there. I think that would, if you ever wanted to remove the Scottoiler E system, that would come off without doing any damage, which is nice. And then the cabling for the Scottoiler is tagged onto some of the rest of the wiring harness on the bike, so this panel was removed and this panel was removed, but the inside of the Scottoiler kind of follows the routing of the original wiring harness and hoses and stuff through to here is where you can see it next. So the cabling for the Scottoiler E system is obviously long enough that you can fit it on a number of different bikes. So this is the XS, and it's sitting quite nicely in behind this fern panel, the side panel. It's not doing any harm, which is nice. The Scottoiler E system itself is here in between the battery tray and the frame rail, so it can be accessed for filling, which is nice. The power supply cables, again, I've just followed the natural routing of the Kawasaki harness and fed that up inside the insulation for the battery terminals. The inline fuse, which Scottoiler supply as part of that, is accessible here. I've put a wee label on there for anyone ever in any doubt about why that electrical terminal is screwed to the battery post and what it's there to do. So that's there's plenty of room in there for that, which is nice on this bike. The Scottoiler, the delivery pipe is coming down again. It's following the natural harness and routing of the bike. Put that back in behind that panel, which is nice. The pipe I have decided to cable tie to the subframe here, and it is quite neatly on the chain guard. Then from the chain guard, it is using the same self-adhesive cable clamps as we used at the front of the bike to the inside of the swinging arm. There's a couple up the front, and then there's 3 here in a row. I've probably used more than you absolutely need, but there's plenty in the kit, which is nice. And I decided to use the Scorpion dual injector, mostly because I really like the fact that it bolts to the bike and gives you some sort of adjustment, which is nice. So I've managed to use, quite conveniently, an original fixing from the bike that bolts the chain guard on, and the Scorpion is bolted alongside that on the original bolt. So it's sitting on the sprocket. It's probably not the first choice of place to put it. Scottoiler quite frequently recommend you have it down around about here at the lower run of the sprocket, but in this case I have now done 600 or 700 miles, and the Scottoiler delivery seems to be good here, which is nice. The chain's looking good. So that is the kind of overview of the Scottoiler E system installation. One other optional accessory I did decide to put on this bike, because it is used for touring, is the newer Travelon expansion bag. So this adds quite a lot of capacity to the Scottoiler reservoir. The standard reservoir is good for hundreds, if not 1,000 miles, but with the Traveller you're talking about multiplying that up quite a lot and you get a lot more miles. And in this case the bike has got plenty of space. These traveller bags are really well designed. They'll fit in a wee nook or a cranny in the tailpiece somewhere quite frequently, and that is piped. Again, I'm just following the natural routing of the harness, and that basically tops up the reservoir. So the traveller expansion bag is not an essential part, but it adds extra capacity to the Scottoiler and means that it won't need to be topped up or filled as often. So that is a quick overview of the Scottoiler E system as fitted to Kawasaki KLZ 1000C, which is a 2019 Versys. I hope you found that useful in some way. If you need any Scottoiler advice, feel free to ask me or contact the tech guys at Scottoiler. I'm sure they'll do what they can to help you out if need be. Okay, see you soon. Thanks.